democracy. Okay, in their own way, albeit in a different way. The thing is this: we've been railroaded as a country by politicians who almost always tie their cloth to external programs and external favors.
Yes.
And no proper planning. There's a lot of name checking.
Yes.
Our politicians do a lot of influence peddling.
Yes.
They do influence peddling a lot. They don't actually do things that are deep. And it's important that you mentioned COVID and what
really did.
You remember the last time we had a conversation, I told you, how is it that so much money was put into manufacturing?
Yeah.
For instance, garments. We spoke about garments during COVID. But post-COVID, none of the
industries have been transformed.
Have moved.
They haven't.
Yeah.
You understand? Because we put so much money. So most companies received 8-9 times the investments they would have received in a 10-year period within 9 months to see the country through certain spaces. But what happened? That tells you perhaps the money didn't go, the industries are not properly set up, rules and things. And so we end up tying ourselves up in knots and there's no proper progress. Now, we again ended up tying ourselves to other countries. I like the example you gave of, we are not going to buy gas. There's a problem. Turn around quick. We are looking out for ourselves.
Yes.
Okay? Who looks out for us?
Nobody.
You spoke again about the developments that have happened. You know, I gave Nathan an article not too long ago because my good friend Xi Jinping changed the policy again.
The Belt and Road
Now, we have perhaps planned our economy around
Belt and Road.
What China is going to do. China just flipped the buttons 2 months ago for the next 10 years what they are going to do.
What are they doing now?
Focus on AI.
I'll give you...
So they've changed they've moved away from this Belt and Road thing.
New learning models.
They've changed the dynamics. So my question then becomes, are we now going to feed into that model too? Because we have
to always keep waiting for somebody's
model. You know, how do you develop? And it's interesting. I just wanted to read to you parts of what they are focusing on. It will interest you.
In China.
So the new focus, I'm going to read 2 new parts.
So this is just 2023 matter.
Oh, yes. Oh,
That's about a few weeks ago.
So they will continue to advance scientific and tech innovation. They're going to hold a conference on science. This state policy I'm reading.
Scientific and
yes,
tech
we'll
innovation.
hold a conference on science and technology exchange and increase the number of joint laboratories that support exchange and training for young scientists. She has also promised that China will propose a global initiative for artificial intelligence governance and promote secure artificial intelligence development. They were going to promote green development, including green infrastructure, green energy, and green transportation. Hold the BRI Green Innovation Conference and establish a network of experts. They have also promised to provide 100,000 training opportunities in areas of green development. They will get these things done.
It's not just talk on paper.
No, you see, and the thing is this. We can either be beneficiaries or we can end up being victims. Most of the time, we end up being victims of these things, which is where your complaint emanated from, because they will do what they have to do for their country to survive. Somebody said something in the morning that caught my attention when you spoke about the farmers and the fact that where does the state come in to help them? You see, because where some of these farmers have to compete with international firms who are stronger, richer, it is the state that comes into support to balance that competition so that they can compete. You know, our fishing industry is dominated by Chinese registered vessels who moonlight as Ghanaians, a lot of it. We can't hide from it. Our community knows it. They can't fight it.
Why can't they?
But because the moonlight.
So how do
it's hidden.
But you can use regulation and policy to make it benefit you.
You see, the reason why they are coming here is because our licensing fees for Ghanaians is very low. So they have found ways around it.
So they'll get some nominal Ghanaian.
If they go to Sierra Leone next door, it will cost them money. So they don't do that much.
So we've opened the thing and left it, the door ajar.
Now, when these trawlers come, I'll tell you a secret. Most of these trawlers, outside of they being the state-owned ones, for instance, receive $3 million a year.
From China?
From the state.
Hey!
A year.
To support their work
to support the work that they do.
That's the point we're making.
$50 million to spend, in addition to $3 million to balance it against
Atalote
and his canoe company.
Yeah.
How
Can't
Atalote
the society.
So where is
Sounds like the title of a storybook. Atalute in a society.
where apart from premix, where is the state's support for Atalute to compete?
So that's the real question.
You see, that's the question.
So, for example, you are saying Minister for Fisheries, call banks, call the top 5 people in fish farming and say, what do you guys want to do to get a Ghanaian-owned vessel? What can we do to support you so that in 10 years' time, we'll have at least 3 of the biggest trawler companies being Ghana brands, because we don't want them. See, so this is the kind of thing a minister should be doing. But what would they do? They go and take the key and lock the sea. And then go and take the key and open the sea. And then they say they are transforming the way we do premix. So you see the question. So that's what I'm saying, that we said the wrong question. So the media should not be giving air to such nonsense. What we should say is that, what is the transformation plan for fisheries? Where is the Department of Oceanography in this? What are the banks going to
They
do?
don't listen to them.
Do you understand? You need to, and I will give you an example. At least the Minister of Agric now, I was in a program where he brought everybody and said, look, what can we do to transform? You need that leadership. Because you see, I learned something recently. Government has 4 things. Government has 4 things.
Yes.
And this is from a British man. He says, number 1, government has regulation. Number 2, government has some money. Then government has
Some money.
Has money.
Yeah.
You can say it has natural resources or whatever. But he says, then number 3, government has procurement. So government can buy things large. Then number 4, government has convening power. So if you're a minister of fisheries, you can say, okay, all the companies in fisheries, I want to meet you at the conference center. All the financial institutions, I want to meet you. All the research, I want to meet you. Set, what is your agenda? My vision is that in 3 years, there will be X percentage of Ghana controlling X percentage of whatever the vision is. How can you make it happen? Then you use leadership to drive it. We don't see that. What do we see? Populism and policies that have to do with votes. So we invest a lot in going to the fishing committees and give them premix to keep them using the same canoe to do the same fishing that is just catching refuse. Whilst the trawlers are deep doing you have tuna companies in Ghana who have vessels that do the tuna and come and produce it here. You don't use that to say, okay, how can we learn so that we can have our own tuna production company in there? The biggest tuna company in the world has a factory here. And they've been here for over 10 years. You can say, okay, where are the Ghanaians who want to do tuna business? What can you learn? Send them to Singapore. You see, that's what I'm saying. There's no vision. The vision is just winning elections. They just read speeches. Most of these guys, I was watching TV yesterday, some deputy ministers are reading a speech. You can say, Adenta MC, we are in 3 years, what have you done to transform Adenta? Then that qualifies you. You get me? So let's appoint competent people to run the districts and let's give them targets. And when they meet at the national level, let's be rigorous in assessing them and let's sack those who fail. Then we can say, when we did the whole thing, wanted to become ministers. Then we have a meritocracy. Not people who chook and they are from the president's village or whatever. That's not what we need. You get me?
Or
That's
people who know the tripod.
We don't know that. We don't need that. So you use, because you see, if you can't manage a district, how can you manage a ministry? You understand? So like everybody wants to be president. Do you know what it means to be president of a country? What have you run in your life? You get me? We have to force. Look, you won't give me a newsroom to manage if I don't have the competence. But why will you give somebody a ministry to manage just because they are close to the president? Where is the training? District assemblyman to DCE to MCE. Targets. What is it changing? Economic. What are they? Okay, so where is the dashboard? Which minister is ranking? So if I take Adenta versus Chairman, who is better? Take Medina MC and Adenta MC. What's the rubric for comparing whether Adenta MC is better than Medina MC? Beyond whether they go for funeral and they are. You understand? Where is the objective measure of transformation? If you take the Ademta MC compared to Medina, can you do it? Can the local government tell me who is doing better? That's the question. So if you have somebody you put in a place to manage development, you understand? The DCs are mostly missing. So, and this is national leadership. I think is the highest level. Will you give a company to a relative just because from your hometown to run for you? The company, the football team, will you give it to your cousin?
I am there every day.
It means the football team means more to you than the country means to some people.
Yeah.
Because you can't just put anybody to run any space. No. Special management, take the city, transportation, sanitation, crime, security. It's a big job.
Activity.
People must be prepared for that job. It must be a job that is, the interview must be more rigorous than CEO of MTN. If you say you want to be MC of Medina to oversee 50 companies, you know how serious that job is? We go and sit down and then they say tripod. And then somebody with BD eyes looking at your face and telling you, when did you join the party? We are not serious. We are not serious.
We have failed as a country, and we can't have any other words to describe this. See, any country that you find, there's a signal that should tell you that you have failed. If people make money just by entering into politics,
Yeah.
you understand?
Yeah.
The only one of the key ways people make money in this country is by entering politics. And we pretend that we don't know that it's criminal and it's corruption. We don't know. If you don't know, aren't you seeing people who were paupers entered politics 4 years, 8 years, and they are billionaires in this country, and we hail them and we use them as examples of how people succeed. And when people are cutting their throats just to be in politics, we feign surprise. I mean, what kind of hypocrisy is this?
Yeah.
The person is unemployed, walking around,
Get a job.
gets into some political party, gets one appointment.
Then
the next one, he buys a 4-wheel drive.
Builds
The
a
next
house.
one, he buys one house at Trasaco.
And when they
The next
travel,
one,
you buy some
they
perfume
go and
that you overspray. So when it comes to the studio, you can't even breathe.
they go and buy a house in Virginia. They go and buy a house in Milton Keynes.
yeah.
And then they are happy. And they are now judging how we should run our lives.
Yeah.
When you know that you have not generated a sweat for the money that you so hold, you know, we are just joking.
Yeah.
If politics is the way to make money, it means that we are a shameful country.
Yeah.
We are shameful. I mean, we should be ashamed of us. As for the middle class in Ghana, God will judge all of us. The middle class in Ghana.
You keep quiet.
Because we are all compromised.
Then they'll say, don't
We are all compromised.
Don't mention
The
my name.
church.
Don't mention
Don't
my name.
mention
The
my
church.
Yeah.
The church.
We are sleeping.
Again, I say the church.
They are sleeping.
All compromised.
Yeah.
NGOs,
They are sleeping.
CSOs.
Yeah. I'm a
You
family.
know, because the ability to analyze and prefer proper reasoning solutions. Look at NDPC. It's been turned into an archives.
Charlie.
National development planning. What do we do with all the
Development plans.
that we have?
Yeah.
They are frustrated.
I can
They are
imagine.
frustrated.
So you have NDPC sitting there. You have the universities. You have the research institutions. All of them are there.
Plant research, building research,
Every
road
research we have.
food research, crop research.
And they are world class.
Industrial
World
research.
class.
Atomic energy.
Some of them have to beg for donor support to do their research.
And some of them are now working as consultants in
For other countries. And the countries are using them to
And we don't
transform.
use them.
And
We
we
don't
are
care. No, but they do.
Either we don't want to use them or we don't know how to use
They
them.
don't know. They don't know what's up.
And it's becoming, you see, it's making the development agenda too costly for us.
Yeah.
Making it too expensive. I mean, Greek. Go to next door Nigeria. What they do with agriculture. They own their agriculture.
Oh, they don't joke with it.
Go
don't-
to Ibadan.
they
The
don't joke.
Greek Research
They
Institute
don't
in
joke with
Ibadan.
Greek.
It's like it's the Agric Research Institute in Ibadan is like the size of the whole of Kaswa.
Hey, because they have lands in addition to the school to plant and experiment.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Huge.
You see, so I'm just saying that somebody must be deliberate about this agenda.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm saying that this politics thing, we have given it
Too much.
it's too much attention to
Yeah.
politics.
Yeah.
The middle class must wake up. The professional bodies, the pharmaceutical society
Mention them, the professional
should fight to maintain standards.
Yes.
The Canizaro,
Yes.
what was it? Samodonko, the
Yes.
president of the pharmaceutical, you have to, engage the system so that we'll stop the import of useless drugs, cheap products from other countries that are affecting our pharmaceutical manufacturing capacity.
Yes. It's one of the industries that we have a chance to win.
We do.
You
It's one of the
understand?
industries we have a chance.
Yeah, why not?
The industry we have a chance because that's
All
one of the
they
places
do,
where the local guys.
let's go. We're going to do pharmaceutical association. We invite Sam Jonah. Sam Jonah has given a speech, and we clap for him. Yeah, wakasapa, and
What are
wakasapa,
you
and
changing?
then we come back and see the same field where we have the NS chemists, the Danex,
Danex. All these
the
companies.
local Tobinco, all these people, they are all here.
When you put the local pharmaceutical manufacturers
They are
together,
huge. Kina
it's-
Pharma
it's
We
an
will
example.
solve our problems
Yeah,
and we can export vigorously to other West African countries.
We are
The
strong.
And yet
capacities
we
there.
have opened. You see some guy with some bag from some Asian country.
They call it, no, they call it Yevodu Agba.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
moving from
do
office to
Agba.
office. You see that? I'm telling you, better. They move from hospital, clinic to clinic, and he has traveled all the way from Asia.
Some guy
And
came-
when he comes,
Yeah.
he will tell you that, oh, we are from Asia. The paracetamol you buy here is 1 cedi, but we can get it to you at 20 pesos. And as for us, we will bring it to you next week. And trust me, next week he will bring it to you
nobody
because
regulates
he's beating the system
Yeah.
right from his country
Nigeria
of
all the way.
origin.
And it's probably not even paying tax.
That's the beating the system. I don't want to go and mention anybody's name.
That's
Beating the system. And you take his kind of paracetamol for 1 month, you end up with all sorts of diseases.
It's a
And when the system cannot track the source of the diseases, at times I laugh.
So the professional must wake up
We need the professional bodies to speak up now.
to fill this void.
Yes, you can. So professional bodies, when you are electing your leaders, stop this populist
Look
thing.
for proper
Look for
people.
people who can engage the system, who are articulate on the issues.
We are not afraid.
We can't joke with our professional bodies. Look, all we have left is the middle class, the media, the CLSOs, and the religious bodies.
So engineering
Professional
council,
bodies.
pharmaceutical
Exactly.
council,
Exactly.
the manufacturing groups.
Engineers.
The
All
engineering
these
council,
people.
architectural council. Look at our built environment.
Oh.
It's such a total mess. And you people who are members of the association, architectural association, engineering association, are you happy with what you see? Are you happy with what you see? It rains like 30 minutes in Accra.
Yeah, probably you
And
can't.
everything turns upside down. And we are waiting for politicians. The politicians who are not as competent as you are waiting for them to give you policy direction for who to implement.
You should be engaging them more
You should
aggressively.
engage them. We should pursue them with
Right,
our knowledge and our
right.
experiences.
And see what he's saying is what you see. What he's saying that, for example, you can decide to take a policy position on a certain built environment issue and push it.
And keep pushing it till the
And say,
politicians succumb to
Do a
it.
person and said, look, we the engineers of Ghana, we think that this is wrong. And
These
if you
cost
push it,
of
do you know what I'm
buildings
saying?
and things.
There should be some professional pride that becomes a protector of some levels of excellence in the country. Otherwise, everything will deteriorate and we'll all be doomed. Please drop the song for me, and then I'm going to pay my bills. As I ask for those of you who want to support our.
Please, we are still taking.
We have another announcement to make this. I don't want to overcook it. The announcement
Another
is coming.
Boyga
There's another
announcement.
announcement coming this week. There's another announcement coming.